So we think differently, we function differently. I often, when we speak of mindset momentum, I often refer to it as just use smartphones. You have Apple users, you have Android users. Both are smartphones, but they operate on different operating systems. iPhone users and Android users, they're completely different people. Most people that like iPhone, if you give them an Android, they'll say, what is this? And most people who love Android, you give them an iPhone and they be lost. So it's the same principle where it's the same function, but they're different operating systems. Men and women, we operate on different systems. Our minds process differently. Men process things differently than women. So what's your take on it, honey?
You're so right. Because the way I look at things and the way I say things, it's so far from the way he looks at things and the way he says things. So it's very important that we check our mindset and communicate and understand each other instead of trying to guess and trying to work with each other.
Right.
You know, and I must say over the years, you know, you did a good job of understanding how to, you know, speak to me,
right,
and how to deliver. And same with me. I try, and I'm not out of yet. I try to be more direct, but you know how women are. We have to tell a story, and well, more than half the times they ain't all of that. So I had to look at it whereas I'm not being offended, and I had to understand that's just the opposite sex, and I had to try and work on my delivery better. All that is very important when you're getting in, you know, want to get ready to marry somebody. You gotta keep all this in mind because
right,
every single thing affects marriage.
yes. So there are a lot of components that you need to be, or you need to have functioning, or you need to work on building them to function
Yes.
and flow in a certain way to make sure that you're equipping yourself to be in a position to be married. A fourth point in a talk of commitment is maturity. We spoke earlier of when my wife had, she was saving funds that I was unaware of, which created a huge challenge. I could do one or two things. I could explode and just walk out of the relationship, or I could say, well, hey, yes, she may have made a mistake by not including me in her decision, but at the end of the day, she was doing it for the betterment of us. It's not as if the money went somewhere else. She held the money and gave me everything, and it was for the betterment of our relationship. So the mature thing to do was to get over the way I felt about the decision that she made and understand that, hey, in order for us to move forward, in order for our relationship to improve, we got to have the conversation about what transpired, what happened,
Yes.
and find a way to resolve it and set in place goals so that we can ensure that, you know, we continue to do what we need to do in our relationship. So maturity is basically saying, okay, I'm at a place where I'm uncomfortable. What decision am I going to make? Am I going to understand that whatever I do is not just about me, it's about the betterment of our relationship?
Yes, that is totally right on it. It's important that you put aside how you feel. I think a lot of persons, you know, you're so caught up on how you feel, you leave no room for maturity. Okay, you leave no room to try and be mature about whatever may have hurt you or may have offended you, and move on. And that's why a lot of persons find it hard to be mature about certain things. So the fifth key in the word committed is in love. Listen, you don't want to get married if you know that you're not in love, because when trouble hits, lust is not going to help you. You have to really love that person in order to be able to fight through the storms. Being in love is very important. It's crucial, if I can just express that.
Right.
Because some things, I'm sure, what I might have done to you, vice versa, if it wasn't for love, I mean, as a matter of fact, we talked about the she stash and when you stepped out on me. Yeah, I mean, if I did not love you, and if you didn't love me, we would not have been here today.
Right. So it's important that, you know, you be in love with one another, which basically means long suffering.
Yeah.
Don't keep score. So you have to be in a position where you care for this person enough where, you know, I don't hold grudge or I don't hold everything that this person does to me inside, and I'm waiting for an opportunity to get back at them.
Wow.
You have to also operate in love. By that, I mean you have to, anything that you do, you don't do it to say, I bought a car for you. No, you buy the car in love. You take out the garbage in love. You do it from a place of love in your heart. Because I love you, I want to make sure that I take care of the things that satisfy you, or I take care of the things that I know brings joy to you. So you have to operate in love. You have to conduct yourself in love. So you have to be in love with this person so that you can handle them in love.
Wow.
Our 6th point, as we talk about the word committed, is time invested. What is time invested?
Just like what it says, investing, I guess, in time.
Right. You have to understand and appreciate that one of the most important things that we have in life is time. You cannot replace it. You cannot purchase it. You cannot go to a store and say, hey, I run out of time. I'll buy $10 worth of time. You don't have that. So you have to appreciate the time that you have and allot time to invest in being with your spouse. You have to understand and appreciate, just as you invest in watches, clothes, hair, you have to invest in your spouse.
Absolutely.
You have to be able to spend quality time. And the time that we mean is not just the time being together, it's the time being together, getting to know each other, getting to know the things that she likes, the things that she dislikes, the things that get her upset, the things that bring her joy, the things that bring her sadness. It's important to know these things so that we can know how to treat our spouse.
That is awesome, honey. Because if we did not take the time out to invest in each other,
Right.
it will not be us. We would not be here today. And so it's so funny though that we find the time to invest even in certain projects to work. We find the time to invest into our children. We find the time to invest into whatever else we want to invest into, but we lack the time to invest into our spouses.
Okay, our 7th point in the word commitment is trustworthy. Wow, that's
Steve,
a powerful word.
first of all, what is trustworthy?
Trustworthy is someone that you can depend on, someone that you know is going to keep your secrets, someone that you know that you could call upon them for anything. You can trust them. You can trust them with your life. You're entering a covenant with this individual. You're going to get married to this person. So you're giving your life to them till death do us part. Sickness and health, forsaking all others. So if I'm forsaking all others, and I'm going to be doing this in sickness and in health, I need to know that there are things about me that I need someone to cover. Can I trust you? Can I trust you with my secrets? Because everybody got secrets.
Everyone.
Everybody got some things about them that they don't want nobody else to know. So, can I trust you?
Absolutely.
Can I trust you with my flaws? Can I trust you with my challenges? Because we're not created perfect. We're created with flaws. And what's amazing is how it's designed, where usually my weaknesses are your strengths,
Yeah.
and vice versa. So, can I tell you my weaknesses, and will you use my weaknesses against me, or will you cover my weaknesses and use your strengths to cover my weaknesses as you help me strengthen myself to build those weaknesses?
Wow.
So, can I trust you?
It's very
Can I
important.
trust you with my life? Because marriage is a commitment for life.
Wow. So this is an important key, guys. You need to know that that's just different with trusting with monies. This is trusting with your life. This is trusting with your downfalls. This is taking your mask off and letting them see who you really, really are. It's important.
Right.
Do you trust me?
Of course.
Absolutely.
Trust you with my life. Our 8th point in committed is endurance to the end. Now, this is something that we spoke on before, but it's critical that you have that stamina in your relationship.
Absolutely.
Because once you worked on the communication, you work on being on one accord, you get your maturity and your love and everything, what happens when challenges come? Because there are going to be some times when you get knocked down. There are going to be some times when you can't pay some bills.
Yeah.
There are going to be some times when something happens. So what do? You run? Or you stick it out? Or you tug it out? You need endurance in order to have a successful marriage.
Absolutely.
You need endurance to get through because challenges come. But trouble does not last always. And that's why we need endurance. You need stickability. We need to understand that not because I'm down mean I'm out. I may be down today, but because I have her, because you have your spouse, listen, together we can overcome any obstacle. Together we can overcome any challenge.
Yes.
And we gotta stick with it. Because no one's perfect. No one's life is gonna be perfect. Our life is far from perfect, but we do our best to make the best of what we've been given. So it's important that you have endurance. You have a mindset that, like we said, there's no second option. There's no escape plan. There's no escape clause.
No.
There's no backup plan. There's no body in the shadows waiting in case this relationship does not work out.
No.
So you have to be willing to fight for whatever it is that you believe in. If you believe in being together, you believe in being married, you got to be willing to fight through all the challenges that you're going to face to be together.
You said so much in a nutshell, and I got a little emotional when I think about our life. You know, we've been through a lot of rough times.
Yes.
We've been together 28 years now, being married 24 years, and it was not easy.
No.
And when I think about what we went through as a couple, you know, we started off so young, and man, it's been a rough time. You know, we had major hurricanes in our lives, and we can put the storms in our hurricane, and we had to identify how to live in the midst of the storms, how to continue to hold on for, you know, in hope and trusting and believing that we're gonna get through this.
Yes.
So what happens when you know, like my husband said, the money is gone, or what happens when sickness rock your body?
Right.
You have to be able to, you know, to know that no matter what comes, we're going to fight this through. We're going to endure this together.
Right.
I don't know. Okay, guys, our last and final key from the word committed is dedication. Dedication to the cause.
You got to be committed to being in this thing.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to throw everything in You got to be willing to put everything in this that you have in order for you to have a successful marriage. You're in a relationship now and you're just giving enough to get by, or you're doing what you need to do to get by. That does not work in marriage. It's not going to work, because you have to understand and appreciate that a marriage is between two people of different mindsets from different backgrounds. So in order to get everything flowing, and in order to get your relationship to where you want it to be, you got to be dedicated. You have to resolve within yourself that this is it. This is whom I've decided to be with. We're going to work through the issues. We're going to work through the challenges. We're going to talk things out. We're going to set goals. We're going to lay down the framework for where we want to be. Where do we see ourselves? And once you do that, you got to now commit yourself to being with this person.
Absolutely.
You got to be dedicated. You got to put the action forward to make this thing work. So to sum it all up, you got to be committed.
Absolutely. I think that wraps up our video.
And just you.
That wraps up our video. That wraps up this video.
We hope that this was helpful. We're on 3. Let's go.
Okay.
That wraps up this video.
I hope that it was helpful.
That wraps up this video.
I hope that we were helpful. Friendship.
Okay. Sorry, I agree.
Wow.
Thank you for watching.
Together.
Thank you for watching.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
And hit the notification bell.
Again, please. Immediately after. You can't go?
You will look funny, like subscribe.
And hit the notification bell. No? Sorry. Do it again. Sorry.
What you do? Let's go.
I wish y'all could see each other right now.
Let's go.
You just crack a rib?
Ow! Eat the ring.
Dedication, take 1.
Our last and final key, number 9. Dedication to the cause. Let me do it again.
Cause.
Okay, guys, our last and final key from the word commitment.
Committed.
Okay, guys, our last and final key from the word committed is dedication. Dedication to the cause. Okay, guys, our last and final key is the word.
Pause. You didn't pause long
Okay,
enough.
guys, our last and final key from the word committed. Okay, guys, our last and final.
You still didn't pause long enough after you start over.
Take what?